What's up, minions? Assemble, assemble. It's time for Eionan's Edge Live Tuesday edition. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Good to have you all here. I see there's a bunch of people already in here already. So let me start out with some greetings and we'll go on from there. See if I can catch up. Just Nate in first, numero uno, with the very first comment. Good to have you here, my friend. David Tooley in here with some greetings. Stacy Bolsterblades, good to have you back, sister. I haven't seen you in a while. It's my little shout out that I would see you all in a bit. Drooby Tunes, yes, Drooby and I, we need to touch base definitely soon. Him and I have a project that I want him to get working on, and it has to do with the channel. So hopefully we'll catch up with him soon. All right, gonna ride. Hey, what's going on? Good to have you in here. Good, thanks for stopping by. Even if you can't stay, folks, please remember to hit that like button for me while you're in here in the live stream. Before I get too far into the live stream and finish up all the greetings, I want to throw out a special thanks to everybody who watches either live, who watches replays, who listens, whatever the case may be. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here, and I always appreciate the support. Stephen Wallace is in here as well, throwing out some love and greetings. Nuts for Knives. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you in here. I think I saw in the comments you're having a little bit of a rough day. Hopefully we can change that. We can occupy your mind for an hour or so, get you thinking about knives, tell you a couple of cool stories, and we'll see what happens. Alan Greywolf is in here throwing out the bananas for the Minion crew. Thank you, Alan, for stopping by tonight. Marcos Gam, a long time follower. Brother Marcos is in here throwing in the Be Up hashtag, remembering Jason Brown as he does every week. Marcos got some greetings in there. Gonzo, my man, one of my moderator extraordinaires, longtime friend, follower of the channel. Hope you're doing good, brother. I think I saw you doing a little blend there, a little mixture for the evening. I will be doing that later after dinner, probably. And I hope that works for you, man. Let's see. Nuts for Knives, throwing out some greetings. Greeting some other folks. Gonzo, been a long, rough day. Oh, that's too bad, brother. But a little 420 help you with that. I'm trying to get out of this damn. There you go. So hopefully we can make that happen for you tonight. All right. Who else we got in here? David Iverson is in here. Rule number 9, brother. Rule number 9. Alan Greywolf, more greetings. There's me saying I'd be ready and then not knowing how to hit the right buttons. Who else have we got here? I know we got some more folks. I've seen some other names in here. Stephen Wallace throwing out greetings. Dawn Ray is in here. Dawn, what's up, sister? Good to see you. Love watching Dawn's videos as always. Dawn has a great little channel about her little homesteading project and her little place that she's got down there on the East Coast. And I love checking out her stuff all the time. Gonzo says, no new nights for me. All my money is going to Carbon, hopefully soon. Okay, got it. Sobek Scooter's in here. What's going on, man? Thank you for joining the Minion crew for the evening, even if it's for a little while. Again, don't forget to hit the like button for me. Got a little thumbs up from Gonna Rye. Like it. Byron Kennedy, longtime Minion, longtime channel supporters in here. He's throwing out some greetings to me, Mrs. Edge, Gonzo, Stacy, David Iverson, Nuts for Knives, Alan Greywolf, Marcos Gamma, and all the Minions coming in tonight. Well, thank you very much, sir. I really appreciate it. Very much. Got some more greetings going. Native Wild Man. Sean is in the house. What's up? Woohoo! He says, hello, Eionan's Edge. And Mrs. Edge, prayers and love to you both. Thank you very much, sir. Groundhog's in here tonight. Thanks for stopping in, Groundhog. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the like button for me while you're here. Let's see what else we got for greetings. Bama Ninja, another one of my moderators, is in here tonight. I have not seen Mimo yet. Hopefully he makes an appearance. I know the time change might be messing him up a little bit, but hopefully we'll see Mimo in here tonight too. Ground Fog. Exhausted and grumpy, so I'm glad to be here with you. Well, good. I've got some funny things. I've got a couple of good stories. We'll pick one later on. Yes, thank you, Gonzo, for throwing up Dawn's channel on YouTube. Bluminati Ninja, brother. Bluminati, thank you, sir. All hail the ninja. coming into the channel. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate it. Look at you. He's already throwing up pocket checks. So I guess, folks, on that note, Bluminati just threw his pocket check up. I guess that's usually the second thing I do. We get the pocket checks. Throw up your pocket check, please. Also, let me know if you carry a flashlight and what your preferred flashlight is. I happen to be a fan of Olight, but you may have something else in your pocket. Put your pocket checks up there now that we got a fair amount of people in here. Let's see what you guys are carrying tonight, and I'll show you what I carried. If you checked my Instagram account this afternoon, you may have seen it, but if not, I'll let you know what I carried today too, and we'll go from there. All right, so anyway, let me finish up with some more greetings here, and then I think we can move on to some other stuff. Yes, of course, Dawn. Everybody in the community loves having you here. I love having you here. Mimo! My other moderator extraordinaire is in the house. I have 3 of my 5 moderators are in here tonight. Very, very good. Very, very good. So yeah, get those pocket checks up for me. We'll take a look at those. We'll see what you guys got. Brand new Americans in here somewhere. There it is. Woohoo, yeah. Going fast on a motorcycle. I love it. Lots of greetings going on. Lots of greetings. Neil McKenzie's here. Probably watching lunchtime, watching from work. I knew it. What's going on, brother Neil? Glad to see you here. We got a good show tonight. And then we're going to go make some carne asada tacos. Yum, 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 yum. All right. Dissentient's in here as well. I saw you earlier. Michael Morgan throwing out the greetings. I love it. I love it. Pretty fly for a knife guy is in here throwing out greetings. So back to everybody. Yep. All right. So hopefully we'll see some pocket checks going on here. There, Neil is in here with, I think, the second one. He's carrying a QSP Penguin. Black with blue denim micarta. Love the denim micarta. QSP knows how to do it well. And not only have I handled that knife, I've handled Neil's knife because Neil and I are friends and we live here in the same city. Neil, by the way, Saturday, April 15th is the tentative date right now for the next Arizona knife meetup, my friend. If you would like to go, let me know. I would love to have you ride up with me. It should be a fun day. We usually leave and get back and head back around 5 o'clock. There'll be plenty of people. There might just be a famous guest coming to our Arizona knife meetup on April 15th. So, folks, keep your eyes and ears peeled for that. All right. Don Ray says, same old Sativian ST139. I just lost my flashlight. We'll have to check the chickens in the dark. That is not good. You definitely do not want to lose a flashlight on a homestead. Native Wild Man has a Wee Sirius, a Savivi Imperium, a Buck Stockman, and a Rook Jaeger. I like it. Rake Jaeger, actually. Bama Ninja's throwing out some greetings. Who else? Come on, I know more of you guys got stuff in your pocket. There's the Sentient throwing out some greetings. Here we go. Gonzo. A Gerber box cutter, an arc pouch with mag, and Kershaw Launch 1. My flashlight is always the S1R Baton 2. Baton 3 might possibly be one of my favorite EDC carry flashlights of all time. By the way, I will be doing a review on that and some other flashlights in the very, very near future. I'll talk more about reviews that are upcoming. I did put a brand new review up today for a knife that I showed a short of a couple weeks ago, which is the Tops Scandi Trekker. Byron Kennedy is carrying the PF818 from Petrified Fish, OGK All Day Necker, RC Applejack, Milwaukee 6-in-1 Fastback. No usual flashlight carry, but 3 in the truck. Very good, sir. All right, Knife Nut 69. The Ritterhogue Mini RSK and Magna Cut. Beautiful, beautiful. The Ritterhogue is a great knife, the RSK, both the mini and the regular size. Bradford 3.5 and Rex 45. Very nice. My favorite flashlight is the Olight Baton 3 Pro. Okay, there you go, brother. Slightly larger version of the one I like to carry. Alan Graywolf throwing out some greetings. Has a poop Sativian waiting at the post office. It's so funny. Let's see. Shout out to Rusty Knife Lover. Hello, friends of the blade. Rusty Knife Lover, if you're in here, thank you, sir, very much. Still looking for some more pocket checks. Gonzo, taking donations for my 420 celebration. There you go. Hey man, I'm always waiting for Multiverse to have their big sale so I can grab a whole bunch of stuff. Brand New Americans throwing out some greetings. Thank you very much. David Iverson, big breath for his. He's got a ZT0223. Very nice, sir. Expensive little bugger. Case Trapper, CRKT Minimalist Bowie, a Baby B, a Victorinox Camper, an Olight Arcfield UV. Very nice. Space Pen, Bullet Pen, Forest, Rule number 9, Handkerchief, a Rule number 9 coin, and a Mrs. Edge coin. Well, thank you, brother, for carrying both. Lone Wolf's in here, too. What's going on, brother? Glad to see you in here. Happy to have folks in here tonight populating the channel. Gone Awry is carrying a J-Call Nightcore Tiki. Or J-Cal might be. Ritter Mini RSK Carbon Fiber and Magna Cut. And an Olight i3T is my go-to. That's Sobex scooter. I like the i3T as well. I've told you guys before, I use a flashlight every single day at my job. I'm a department manager at a golf course. I'm there almost every single day I work. I'm there when it's dark out still. I like flashlights that I can clip onto the bill of my ball cap and look around in the dark and do all the stuff and unlock everything I need. The i3T, the i5, the Baton 3, those probably are the 3 that are in my rotation the most, because obviously they have a clip that I can clip on my hat and I can look around hands-free and do everything I need to do in the dark. And they're rugged and durable, and they last a long time and have good light output. So those are kind of it for me. Oh, whoop, I almost skipped somebody. Pretty Fly for a Knife Guy says he's carrying a Spyderco Tanto in M4. It's a PM2. Oh, paramilitary 2. Yep, PM2. Very cool knife. Bama Ninja's carrying a Rampart, a Backlash, a Kaiser Harpoon fixed blades, and an O-Pen 2. Very nice. Ruby Tunes, what's going on, brother? He says, howdy, minions. Hello to you, sir, too. You and I got to catch up. I am off tomorrow. I will try to call you. I will do my best to get in touch with you. We got to hook up. We got to connect and see if we can get this project that I want to get done off the ground. More greetings going out. Bluminati Ninja is carrying a Lumentop 2.0 AA, a Job Smart COB from Tractor Supply for Lights. Okay, there you go. Getting a lot of greetings for Drewby. That's cool. Knife Nut 69 says Sobex scooter. I ended up taking some 800 grit sandpaper to mine. That thing had so much texture, I was tearing up my pockets. Obviously, we're talking about some knife scales. The RSK has a real pocket shredder. It does have some pretty sharp scales on it. I will say that. I've been looking at some of those original goat scales that are out that are in titanium that you can get to replace the regular RSK scales. Yeah, a little pricey, but worth it. O-Tip is in the house. Really bad day. Just popped in to say, hey, but I can't stay long. That's okay, brother. I really appreciate you stopping by. It's always great to have you here in the stream. Please hit the like button on your way out if you can. All right. On that note, I want to throw out some shout outs. Obviously, shout out to my boy O-Tip there. I want to throw a shout out to Darnell B. Still haven't seen him around. I hope you're doing well, brother. You're in my thoughts and prayers, as well as the rest of the community's thinking about you. I want to throw out a shout out and some love to Iggy. I know Iggy's been going through some things in her life lately. Hopefully that passes and she gets back here with the community on a regular basis. We do miss you, Iggy, and I hope to see you again soon. My good friend and brother, Q-Ball, he had surgery on his arm. He seems to be doing really well. I hope that continues to go well. I'm looking forward very, very much to seeing you at the knife meetup on the 15th, wherever that ends up happening. I'd also like to shout out Uncle Kyle. Again, watches every week, comments every week, really likes my live streams. Thank you, brother, for being here and being a supporter of the channel. I'm wishing all the best for you and hoping that your future situation that you're going to be moving into works out much better for you than the one that you've been in now. And of course, I want to throw the biggest shout out to my lovely wife, Mrs. Edge. She's doing very, very well, but she is struggling a little bit with the side effects from the radiation. She's not quite halfway through with it. Having some problems with her throat, swallowing different things. Nothing that's too serious, but she's only halfway. So hopefully that works out. And we get through this part, and then we can move on to some of the less taxing things and into summer. The other good news is that she did go back to work. She only works a couple days a week, a couple days a month at the gallery, but she went back for some short shifts. She's really happy to be out of the house, even though it's taxing and tiring for her. And she rode a bike for the first time this week. Her and I went on a bike ride, only 6 miles, but she did great. It felt amazing for her and I to get out and actually ride and get out in the fresh air and the sunshine on the MUP path, the very extensive MUP path here in Tucson. So all of that's good news. I'm going for an MRI tomorrow because my back is still giving me a lot of problems. They're going to do a full MRI from mid-thigh to around my lower rib cage, abdomen, belly area, and try to see if they can figure out what the heck is going on there with my back. And hopefully it's not anything too serious. But anyway, we're doing pretty good. So those are all the shout outs to everybody and the updates on everyone's health. Hopefully you guys are doing well out there in the world. If you're having a rough night, I'm glad you're in here. I'm going to have some funny content coming up soon. All right, let me look through a few more comments here. And then our Bluminati Ninja says, all right, hitting the road, we'll be driving and listening. Well, thank you, brother. I really appreciate it. Nuts for Knives is in here. A lot of greetings for OTIP, which I love. Everybody's greeting OTIP. You should greet OTIP. Just Nate says, pocket checks, dude. Don't forget to throw your pocket checks up. I'll try to hit those as I go through. Just Nate, another long time and very dedicated subscriber to the channel. Nate's usually the first one in the live streams and the first one to comment on my videos most of the time. He really loves the channel. I am honored, sir. It means a lot to me. Today, Nate is carrying the Pulsar and the Workos TS10 flashlight at work. We'll try to be in here as much as possible. I totally understand, brother. I get it. Michael Morgan is carrying the Spyderco Siren and LC200N plus the Roby Vaughn A5X. By the way, if you have not checked out Michael Morgan, also known in the knife community as Mimo, if you have not checked out his channel, you should. Michael has some of the best shorts anywhere in the knife community. His short videos are great. His actual shorts are pretty good too. Multicolored boxer briefs. Doesn't matter what he wears. His shorts are good as well. Yeah, David Iverson says, Eionan's Edge, the new Arcfield UV is able to be worn on the bill of your cap. Oh, definitely. I'm going to have to look at the AV one or UV one for sure. Let's see. That's good to know. Just Nate says, brother Gonzo, enjoy 420 for me. Me as well, although, like I said, I hope to be partaking a little later. It's been very, very helpful, not just for my back pain, but for some of the side effects that Mrs. Edge has had to deal with. Dawn Ray, oops, sorry. Maybe not everyone saw the Bit of Doom reviewed a Sativian 150 that looks like a poop. Okay, that makes a little more sense to me now. I got you, Dawn. You ordered one too. All right, very cool. Let's see, everyone. Mike Reese is in here. He says, hey, everyone listening, driving home from the range and listening. Oh, driving home from the range. I like it, brother. I have something I have not done in a while. Hopefully, as Mrs. Edge starts to feel better, her and I can get out and do that again in the spring or summer. Her and I used to like to go at least a couple times a month. Everyone stay safe. Good night. Thank you, OTIP. Thank you very, very much, brother, for coming in. If you don't subscribe or you haven't checked out OTIP's channel other than intended purposes, you should go do that because he has a great channel. And he's a fantastic guy who served his country for a long time. So I would really appreciate if you go over and at least take a look at OTIP's channel, see if it's something you like. And Dobie6621 throwing out some greetings. I love it. Cue Ball is in the house. I just shouted you out, sir. I don't know if you were here when I did it, but I hope that your recovery and your arm is doing well. Your recovery is doing well. And I really, really cannot wait to see you on April 15th. Don't forget the box for my TRM, and I have a knife to bring back to you as well. All right. Yes, shout out to Iggy, Darnell, Rusty Knife Lover as well. I agree. Still going well. Perfect. Great. I am super happy about that. Droopy Tunes throwing out a whole bunch of greetings as well. Nate's in here. Batman Ninja beat me to the live again. Not by much, though. Lots of greetings going on. People greeting Q-Ball. You should greet Q-Ball. Brother Q-Ball is a good friend of mine. He's one of the nicest guys in the knife community. Super big-hearted guy, and we are all better for having him around. So anytime that Q-Ball can make one of my lives, it's always a good thing. All right, so, Nate says hello to Mrs. Edge. Hugs and love for Mrs. Edge. Yep, she's doing pretty good. And, she's trying to fight off the side effects. Yay about the bike ride. Yes, that was totally a great thing for us to do. She wanted to go further. I kind of reined her in and made her turn around. She was glad because, she's a little worn out. I didn't want her to overdo it. They were fine for a small lightweight. Do a lot of momentary muscle. Best wishes, Eionan's Edge. My back has been screwed up for less than 3 years. It's no fun. Well, I've been screwed up for a long time. Mine's really screwed up. I have some big problems down in my lumbar, but they haven't kept me from working or doing basic things. I just want to see if there's any way we can fix some of these problems and improve them. I don't want back surgery at this point in my life. But the Blade Review is here. Welcome, brother. Always a pleasure to have you in here. He says, love you, brother. Prayers to you and Mrs. Edge. Thank you very much, sir. All right. Neil says, I'm at work. My brain hurts. Yes, I used to be one of my employees when I worked where he still works. And I feel for you, brother. Maybe one day you'll escape the madness. All right. So we got a lot of other folks in here throwing out greetings. I like it. So let's move along. I think we've gotten most of what we need out of the comments here. Everyone looks like I got to go help my wife with some stuff. I'll catch the rest on playback. Thanks. It's okay, brother. Thank you, Byron, for stopping in. I really, really appreciate it very much. Always good to have you here. Droopy Toon says he's carrying a lime green Para 3 Kaiser Lieb M. The Kaiser Lieb is fantastic. I have the small one. I want to get the medium/large size button lock version as well. So many knives, so little money. All right, so let's move on with content here. We're going to take a really, really quick peek over at Minions Carry Knives. Let's do that. I like to go over every week and take a look. By the way, if you want to know what I carried this week, here it is. This is the Eionan's Edge carry. This is a Civivi Riffle in green micarta, 14C28N. This is a Top Scandi Trekker, which I just put a review up today, shortly before the live stream. So if you haven't, please go over and check that review out on my YouTube channel. Take a look at it. It's a super cool fixed blade, really worth the money. That's what that is, this Top Scandi Trekker. That is not the Necker version, although they do make one of those. I got an Olight i5T EOS. I've got the Swiss Army Knife SD Classic, the all titanium Olight Opry, and an extra large Mrs. Edge Hank. That's what I carried today. But let's see what else is over here. There has to be some new stuff over here. So let's take a peek. Let's go to Minions Carry Knives. Boom. And let's take a look. Ooh, yeah, I like that one. All right, Artificial Safari, Rich Kasner. Another one from Rich Kasner, very nice. I like the marble background. I like the coloring on the cup. That's pretty neat. Let's give that a like for sure. Oh, Lord Needham, always bringing the heat. He's always bringing the heat in here. Devo Knives Stout. Celium Blade Designs, Ari, and the EMP-EDC Relative. There's supposed to be, in April, a drop for the new and improved, slightly V2 version of the EMP-EDC Nimble X. And I understand that might be the last of the Nimble X's that get released for a long time. So I will be looking for that. Another nice one from Artificial Safari. Let's see what else we got in here. I know there's some other new posts. I like this. This is kind of cool. I dig that little fixie. That's cool. Very nice. Look at this one. Oh, EDC Roundtable. Reposted from Bluminati Ninjas. Yep. So he's got the Kubi. He's got the Poor Man's Arius Kubi. He's got the Kaiser Mini Paragon. And then I'm not sure what the top one is up there. Best Tech Operator. Okay. I could tell it was a Best Tech. I didn't know what brand it was, though. All right. That's very cool. I like that a lot. I like it a lot. I'm going to leave it a heart. Let's see. Oh, this is the Mini Thug, I think, right? Civivi Thug 2. Yep. Okay. Beautiful G-Ball. I like that. It's even got some dirt on the blade, huh? Well used. Well used. Look at this one here. Rich Kastner again, bringing the heat. Nice photos. Nice color. I like that. That looks really good. Bang Bang Blades. Throwing out this knife here. Looks pretty cool, too. Monterey Bay Knives. Yep. We got the Drop Bear in here from G-Ball. That's pretty freaking cool knife, too. Ooh, look at this. Ooh, Sharp Guy ATX. I know this is a car roof, or a truck roof, or a car hood or something, but it looks like it's floating on a pond, folks. Does this not look like it's floating on a pond, right? Looks like, I'm going to even type that, looks like it's floating on a pond. I dig it. Go put a little heart on there. Boom. And a thumbs up. All right, giving him some love too. Let's see what else we got here that I haven't seen yet. Oh, I already like this one from Drewby. The Funkin'. That was the St. Patty's Day one. The Funkin'. Nice little Finch knife. What else we got here? Rich Kastner throwing up a couple more. We got the chili pepper. We got a couple of Kaisers, a little Civivi. I dig that. That's a cool picture. So for those of you who don't know, if you've been in my live stream, but you're not sure why we're going through this page, Minions Carry Knives, hashtag Minions Carry Knives, this is our page. This is the page I created for people in the stream to check out each other's work. So here it is. If you use Instagram, add the hashtag Minions Carry Knives to your post to help create a spot for all the Minions Instagram posts. I have so far since I created this, check this weekly on the Tuesday Lives. So if you got a knife that's really cool and you're on Instagram and you want me to you want to take a look at it, or you want other people who are part of the channel in the stream to take a look at it, just hashtag it that way and it will show up here on this page and everyone can go take a peek at it. So that is what we do there. That is what Minions Carry Knives is all about. Let's go back to the comments and see what we've got going on here. I'm not sure where I left off. Said Stevie's in the house. What's up there, pickle brother? Yeah, some awesome shots in there. Yep, it looks like it's floating on water. I totally agree. G-Ball's in the house as well. What's up, G-Ball? I just showed off a knife that you posted up on Minions Carry Knives over there. Right? The little Thug 2 looks cool. G-Ball, David Iverson, Dwayne Letterman is in here. Nuts for Knives. Throwing out some greetings. See if we can catch everybody. Urban Woodsman. Urban Woodsman's in the house. You did not miss anything important. You did not miss story time. Story time is always toward the end of the broadcast, generally speaking. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. We got some other people throwing out greetings, and I dig that. I dig it a lot. Very, very cool. So one of the things I do every week that's kind of fun and enjoyable is a little segment. Oh, by the way, I want to forget. Word of the month. The word of the month is family. For those of you who are uninitiated with this, if you tune into my broadcasts on Tuesdays and you collect the word of the month. So word of the month through 2023, you'll have a chance to win exclusive prizes at my holiday celebration, which comes in December, usually shortly before Christmas. Last year, I gave away 12 presents to people who followed, I gave away a special super duper grand prize drawing pack for people who had all the words of the week. I did weekly words last year, trying to make it a little easier for everyone. Word of the month. There's going to be 12 of them. There will also be bonus words. There's definitely going to be bonus words in April. There's going to be bonus words in July. There'll probably be a couple of other bonus words throughout the year. Those will be worth extra entries into that super grand prize drawing. So the word of the month for this month, for March, is family. Okay, enough of that. Guess what time it is, folks? Can anybody guess what time it is? Does anybody know what time it is? Huh? Anybody? Anybody want to know what segment I'm doing next? Come on, I know somebody can make a guess. Drunken Knife Review segment, folks. We cannot have a weekly live without Drunken Knife Reviews, and I've got two good ones for you this week. Two good knife reviews, Drunken Knife Reviews for you this week. Drunken videos. Dawn's on top of it. She's like, is it drunken video time? It sure is, Dawn. It sure is. Okay, so let me get this up real quick. Let me share the screen and we will do this. So the first one that we're going to do, folks, the very first one that we're going to do happens to be one of my videos. I've been poking fun at a lot of other people, so I thought it was time for me to. I saw the one that you did with me with the book. It was the book one was fucking hysterical, Urban. I swear to God, I watched that before the show last week, and I laughed so freaking hard. And everybody here really enjoyed it. But anyway, yes, it is time for this week's Drunken Knife Review segment. So, yep, there's Bluminati throwing out beer and bananas. So here we go. This was a review I did not that long ago on the CJRB Pyrite. And this is my Drunken Knife Review. So let's get this set up properly here. Let's make sure everything is good to go. It is, and the volume is on. And let's go ahead and play this.
It has a reversible stainless steel pocket clip. That's also stone washed. And we've got 2.8 inches of usable fine edge. We've got a scale length of 4.25 inches, a tip to tail length of just a skosh over 7.25 inches, and an overall weight on my scale of 3.65. Let's talk about what I like. First of all, the build quality on this knife is phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
I cannot stress that enough. The knife looks immaculate in every way.
Every way.
Nice centered blade. Good looking standoffs. Good machining. Gets a big thumbs up for that one for sure.
It's funny watching some of these back.
The ergos on the knife are really solid. Here I am with my large glove size hands. There's still some extra room back here. It has a forward choil that is pretty decent. This is very rounded here, so even if you have bigger hands and you decide to choke up a little bit onto the top of there, there's still plenty of room there to keep yourself away from the blade. which I really, really
Drunken stone
like.
doesn't
There
matter.
is
So same thing.
well-placed, useful jimping here on the back of the spine, as you can see.
Okay.
Now,
So I think you guys got the picture. For those of you who maybe are new to the stream, that's what I call it, the drunken or stoned knife reviews. So every week I try to pick one or two people from the internet, and I mostly pick on people who I know. I try not to pick on channels who I don't have any affiliation or any contact with, because that wouldn't be cool. What is Urban says? He says, "Did you see my dirt guard video? That shit's hilarious with the dodgeball move reps." I did not. I will have to go check that out, Urban. I was sick the later half of last week and through the weekend, just kind of under the weather, not like anything serious, but it just wiped me out. I didn't get to do any knife reviews last week. I didn't watch many videos. I stopped into a few people's streams for a little bit just to say hi. But I'm trying to catch up. Surfer Dude reviews, yeah. So again, these just for the purposes of entertainment, these are regular review videos played at around half speed. So they sound like you're either drunk or stoned, right? Some people like G-Ball, my boy G-Ball, for instance, I did his, and man, I'll tell you what, it definitely sounded like G-Ball was on an acid trip for that. But I waited a long time to do his because I knew it would be funny. But Urban reading the book last week was absolutely priceless. I practically pissed my pants laughing the first time I watched it. I might get to that one in a sec. I've got another one for you real quick, and I think you're going to like this one a lot. This one is a channel that a lot of people know and love and are familiar with. And the beginning of this is super funny. So this is a big red one, okay? So check this one out. This is pretty damn good, in all honesty. Here we go. Just wait for
Hey
it.
everybody, welcome back to Big Red EDC. Well, as you can see on the table in front of you, we have got the 3 new knives recently released from Roachcraft Blades. On the top, we have the Eionan. We have the Holston River Surgeon's Knife, and we have the Castoria. Now, these two came Wednesday. I got them Wednesday night, right before I was getting ready to leave for Blade Show, Texas. I mean, I took a
And he sounds like he's drunk, doesn't he?
look at both of them and had a couple of questions that I knew I was going to be able
Urban.
to ask Andy right away on Friday. So I did that. And then, of course,
Pit, yes.
I did pick up the Holston River at Blade Show, Texas.
Blade.
So basically, we're just gonna take a quick look at them, kind of a first glance type of thing, just so you can see what they are. Of course, we're gonna start with the Eionan. I have to make sure I say these correctly because I was not before. But no, this guy's made, it's just a little keychain knife, a little D2 knife. G10. You've got your basically your
Come on, get it out. Get it out, Red.
ring hole there.
All right. So anyway, guys, you can see what this is all about. We try to do at least one or two of these every week. Uh, we do a couple of them every week. It's super, super fun. And we have a good time with it. And here's the thing, all these channels are fantastic. If you happen to be here and you're not subscribed to Big Red, what the hell are you waiting for? You need to go over and get on JB's channel and get subscribed to him. Yep. So this is probable. Holy smokes. Hey, there's Will B. What's going on, brother? Good to see you in here. Crispy Critter's in here as well. So we got a bunch of people that popped in, but that is this week's version of Drunken or Stoned Knife Reviews. One of mine and one of Big Red's. So what does he say? Just 28 seconds of the Dirt Guard video is all you got to see. Okay, let me go. Hold on, folks. We'll do one more. We'll go over and we'll see if we can find the Dirt Guard one on Urban's channel. Give me just a moment to do that, folks. I'll find it. I promise. I promise. Okay, let's see. Urban Woodsman. There it is, Urban Woodsman 87. All right. $5 Dirt Guard. I see it, brother. I see it. There it is. Hold on. Hold on. Let's make sure we get this set up right. All right. Let's do a share, and we should be able to put this up on the screen. $5 Dirt Guard. Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Guard bucket insert sold at Harbor Freight.
Here we go.
How great!
Oh, normal speech. Hold on. Normal speech. You didn't tell me normal
right,
speech.
boy.
Hold on. Let's go back then.
Dirt Guard bucket insert sold at Harbor Freight. How great is it? That's right, boy. Get in there all nice and deep like.
Oh my God. You're such a kook.
For only $5 right now at your Harbor Freight, this is definitely a deal of an item that you do not want to dodge, dip, duck, dive, or dodge on this one. If you know what I'm saying.
I have to go back to this section. Hold on. We need a screen cap. Oh my God. This is just the best thing ever. Okay, I'm never going to get that image out of my mind. Seriously. I'm never going to get that. Oh my goodness. All right. Thank you, Urban. That was definitely worth a minute of our time for sure. Thank you so much. Holy crap. Okay. I don't know how I could top that, honestly. So we did Drunken Knife reviews. I wanted to tell you guys, now that I'm trying to catch up with knife reviews, here's a sneak peek at 3 or 4 of the next knife reviews that are going to be coming down the pike. I hope maybe if things go well and I get out of my MRI on time tomorrow, I'll be able to knock out a couple more knife reviews tomorrow and get some more content up. It is classic. It's freaking amazing. A total rendition of the car wash scene from Dodgeball, correct. So let me go over this real quick. So one of the very next knives that I'm going to be reviewing was sent in by our very own Dawn Ray. So thank you, Dawn. And I will be reviewing this. It's going to probably one of the next 1 or 2 reviews that I do. You may have seen it on the short. I put the shorts up, and then a short time later, I try to get the reviews for the knives up. This knife has affectionately become known as the Minion knife. This is the Sativian ST-139 in 14C28N. This knife will be coming up very soon. It actually came out of the box very sharp, too. I have got to use this knife a little bit and carry it. This is Dawn Ray's actual model of knife, not her actual knife, but she sent me a brand new one. When I'm finished reviewing this knife, hopefully very soon, I will be gifting it through a giveaway on a Tuesday Live. So there you go. So keep an eye out for that. I also picked up recently a Spartan Knives Talos in carpenter steel. And let me tell you what, this has turned out to be a super cool little knife. Okay. Very, very nice. And a knife that I've had for a little while now, but I've been neglecting to review, a knife that I love. This is the Finch Reciprocity with, look at that, shredded carbon fiber scales. Beautiful Wharncliffe blade. Frame lock with a bolster. Gorgeous titanium clip. Really, really super nice, really cool Finch knife. The Reciprocity. So that's coming up. And then finally, a knife that was gifted to me. Here we go. A knife that was gifted to me by Scabs. The operator. I actually used this knife out in the yard to hack down a tree branch recently. So yes, Scabs, I did actually use my shit. I used it. It's a pretty big, hefty knife. Byron Kennedy, you'll love this review when I do the review on this very soon. So thank you, Scabs. I am greatly appreciative of the fact that you thought enough to send me a knife as a gift. This is a super cool knife. It is a big knife. It is a heavy knife. I will be reviewing this knife very soon as well. So those are some knives coming up. What do we got here? Let me go back. Urban says, not to boast, but I should probably get an acting award for that one. Dude, you should be on TV. Seriously. All right. I still haven't tried any Finch knives. Did you need to? The Buffalo Tooth is amazing. The Reciprocity is amazing. They've got a bunch of really, really cool knives. Knife Nut 69 says, Urban, every time I go to Harbor Freight, I'm going to laugh as I think about that. I might also really need to buy that bucket. Oh, gosh. Oh, Gunther says, I need me a big fixie like Scab has. Yeah. He sent me that knife. I got to tell you a quick story about that. So Scab says to me, he goes, hey, can I get your address? And I go, sure. I have, as a matter of fact, I have a couple of small gifts I have to send back to Scab for sending me the knife, just to say thank you. But he said, I need your address. And I go, okay. I'm thinking he's going to send me. He sent me another knife. He sent the Rosecraft Alenta that I gave away recently. He sent me that knife too, because he's a, what do you call it? He gets knives from Rosecraft anyway. So and he sent me that knife, and I was like, that's so awesome. He goes, hey, send me your address. And so he sent me that knife. And then a little while later, I get this box dropped off on my stoop outside my house. It's like good sized box. It's like, this big by this big, one of those big priority mailboxes. And sticking out the box like this freaking far is this knife. It's just literally, it's destroyed the end of the box, and it's like sticking out. And the postal guy comes up and just puts it on my stoop right there in front of my door with half of the knife sticking out of it. So obviously the packing didn't work on that job. Let's see. Don says, I need to find one for processing. I go and see the review on the knife. So anyway, so Scab sent me that knife, and I was really super stoked about that. So one of the other things I was hoping to do here, folks, because I just reviewed the top Scandi Trekker, and I have that knife to review, that other big knife from Topps Reviews. I wanted to kind of take a look for some of you folks at some of the Topps offerings. Now, if you're familiar with Topps, that's fine. But for those of you folks who are not familiar with Topps, I am going to go over and take a look at some of the knives on their site. So here we go. So here is the Topps website, and there's a few really cool knives. The 3-pointer, this is a pretty cool knife right here. I really dig this. That's a pretty neat looking knife right there. You can see it's a small knife though. It's not a huge knife in this person's hand, right? Little itty bitty thing. You could probably carry that. I also want to point out that the pricing that you see here is not the real world pricing. This is just the full retail pricing. You're probably going to get these knives for quite a considerable amount less. Urban and Shane, you should do a rom-com together. That would be pretty fun, actually. I would probably watch that for sure. Rain Doan says, sorry, my laptop lagged or I'm drunken typing. Will B says, I have a Tops Dart that's getting a custom leather sheath made for it. Before I go too much further into the Tops knives too, one of the things I wanted to mention, I talked about this in my review. There is a company out there called Armitage Carry. And I believe it was Tree Stabbing Troy that turned me on to them. And let me show you that real quick. So Troy told me about them because one of the things I hate about a lot of fixed blades is I like the knives. I dig the sizes. I dig the ergonomics. This is true of the Tops too. A lot of the Tops knives only come with a one position drop carry type leather sheath that you can't do anything with or clip on to anything else except put on your belt. And a lot of knife manufacturers that make fixed blades tend to do that. And I get it. I tend to like Kydex sheaths that have more options. But anyway, Armitage Carry Solutions right here, they actually make sheets for just about everything you can imagine. Let's take a look at this. We've got overstock sheets. We've got Becker knives. We've got Benchmades. We've got Bokers, Bradfords, CRKTs, DPX, Essie knives. I mean, they make, here you go. Here, where is the Azula 2? Right here. The Azula 2. If you don't like your Azula 2 sheath, look at that. That's a great option. Comes in a whole bunch of different colors. They even make it, if you buy the aftermarket TKC scales, they make a version of the sheath that will accept those as well. But that is a great looking sheath with good carry options, can be carried in either position. So Armitage makes sheets for just about everything. I mean, look at all these Essies they make right here. If you like the SE6, right? They're only around $50 for the standard sheets. There's the SE6 in a Kydex sheath. And you can order all kinds of extra belt attachments and different, and you can pick the scales that you have so you make sure that you get the right sheath. I priced out a couple of them. They were all around $50 to $60, and they're making them perfectly fitted for your knife. Yes, I know you can make your own Kydex. If you go down here to Tops, and they have White River knives as well, but if you go down here to Tops, right, and there's a mini Scandi. So, for instance, if I wanted to get a sheath for mine, they offer that. And they also offer down here extra clips and belts and attachments to carry this any way that you would like. So this is Armitage Carry. I would definitely check these guys out. They make some amazing looking Kydex sheets, really super high quality for a ton of fixed blade knives that are out there on the market today. Meanwhile, let's go back. There's a couple of other knives I would really like to show on the Tops website. So if you're a woman and you have smaller hands and you're looking for a smaller knife, by the way, the bull trout right here is amazing, whether you're a guy or a woman. This is an absolutely incredible looking knife. It can be had for around $100 to $110. It's not $185, folks. And it definitely is a super, super cool knife. Urban says, I love Tops. I want the El Panero. I'm hoping they will be selling some at Blade Show. You double posted that. I'm looking forward to the El Panero from Tops. Yep. Homero. Yep. They've got a bunch of different knives. One of the other knives I thought was really cool from them. This was the bull trout, which I'm going to be adding to my collection. Has a really, really great handle and choil on the front of it. Here's some other knives from Tops that are pretty nice. This one is the Crow Hawk. This is pretty cool. That's the Crow Hawk. I like that. They have small knives as well as big knives, which is cool if you're a small EDC carry person. And the thing about Tops that's really cool is all their knives are guaranteed for life, regardless of what you do to them. You break the tip off, you snap the end of the knife off, you chip the blade. It doesn't matter. They will replace it. All right. I mean, they have videos of them driving these things through the roofs of cars and stuff. So here's the Scandi Trekker that I just did the review on. It's not $165. It's around $100. It can be had as cheap as $85. What else have we got going on here? The Woodsman's really nice too. This is a cool looking knife. There's the Woodsman. Ooh. Yeah, the Woodsman. And they also make, whoops, I messed up. They also make a knife that I wanted to show. Let me go back for just 1 second here, guys. They make a knife that I wanted to show because, ooh, I got rid of the page. That would help if I put it back up on the screen. They make this knife right here. This is the Lioness, okay? And this is a pretty cool knife. This is not that small of a knife, but it definitely is a knife that looks like it would carry pretty well. It has a pretty good blade shape. Whether you have big or small hands, I think that knife would be a really fun knife to carry. Now, that is in a woman's hand right there. But this knife is also right around $100. Comes with a Kydex sheath that can be carried in a couple of different positions. They actually show the sheath here. There you go. And this is another Tops knife. So this is a knife I'm really interested in. I think this would be a knife that could be fun to carry and EDC. And I think that would be really, really cool. All right, so there you go. So we went over some Tops knives. Now I'm not looking at, hey, they're great knives. They make a lot of different sizes for a lot of different hands. They're made in the United States. The company is very, very popular. I cannot say anything bad about them. Urban Woodsman. He says, that thing would be big in Cole's hands. Tiny tries to. Cole is a little dude. He is not a big gentleman at all. But Cole obviously is the big show after mine, and I enjoy being sort of the warm-up act for him. And I love Cole. It's like watching a late night talk show, except it's about knives and whatever the hell else he decides to come up with. So anyway, we talked about some Tops knives. Showed you guys some different ones. They've got every blade shape you could imagine. The bull trout, I'm really a big fan of. The Scandi Trekker is the knife I just reviewed. That is this one right here. And as you can see, like I said, it's a good size knife. It's not that hard to conceal if you have the right kind of sheath. I'll probably be buying one of those Armitage sheaths for this because I'd really like to carry this knife a little more. I might actually be putting this knife on the back of one of my fishing backpacks to take out fishing with me this summer. So I'd like to get something other than just a sewn loop pouch for this knife. But Tops Scandi Trekker and a whole bunch of other knives on their website that are fantastically made. Okay, so we're just at about an hour, folks. And I didn't plan on staying on super long tonight. Got some dinner to make, some other things to do. It's been a busy week. I'm just getting over not feeling well and being under the weather. But I thought it would be interesting to do maybe 2 story times tonight. Maybe two. So I know a couple of you, yes, it does look like a good fishing knife, Native Wildman. You would know, brother, right? You would know. Not a fillet knife, but, you know, be a good bait cut knife or something that you could very easily stow and take out in the field with you or take out to a lake or pond when you're out there trying to catch some trout or some bass or whatever. Let's see. I waited a while for the green LC200 one. Hey, Winchester's here. Coming in a little late in the broadcast, but that's okay. Thanks for coming in. Also, there's 30 people here tonight. Hopefully everybody that can has hit the like button. If you're listening at home or you're replaying, again, thank you very, very much. I greatly appreciate it. There are some more knife reviews coming up. My first flashlight review will hopefully drop next week. I'm still trying to find the time to get my reintroduction to Fully Deployed back up and running, and hopefully that will happen. But good to have you in here, Winchester, man. I don't see enough of you on the internet in the knife community, so it's always a pleasure to have you drop by my live streams. And thank you to everybody that's here, whether you're in the chat or you're listening or just lurking. I really appreciate it. So I have two stories for you tonight. So the first one, I've had people ask me about racing motorcycles. I did that for a short period of time. I got an AMA license, went to AMA school, and did a little bit of racing. It was not so much because I thought I was going to be so great at it, but more because it was just one of those life things I just wanted to do. I wanted to try it and see if I was going to be any good. So without, whoa, hold on a second. Beard of Doom is in here too? Did I miss Doom? Doom's in here somewhere. What's up, Doom? You came in time for story time. Native Wildman says, I could clean some fish with it. It would be great for cut bait for catfish. Yep, exactly. So that's my plan. I want to get a better sheath for that and something that'll go on to the molly attachments on the back of my little small fishing backpack thing that I like to carry out. Saying positive vibes, everyone. Gotta check on my pops. All right, Crispy Critter, have a great night. Sorry that you're gonna miss story time, but thank you so much for dropping by and spending some time in the stream with us. Really appreciate everyone who comes and spends part of their Tuesday nights here on my live streams. You minions are the best. I love you guys. Yeah, the sentient. We're gonna talk about a motorcycle story. So somebody last week when I was doing the live said they thought the bike that I showed that I rode at the school and won this particular race in. This is a Suzuki GSXR. Let's see if we can get that shot. A Suzuki GSXR, which are affectionately known in the bike community as Gixxers. And this was a 2007 GSXR, and this was in 2008. This was. I also raced a 2005 GSXR 750 a couple of times, and I found the 600 was a lot easier bike to ride and to keep a handle on, and I really enjoyed that. So anyway, with the story I'm going to tell you, folks, is about to come up. So that was me. The story I'm going to tell you is about going to AMA school and one of the experiences I had in there with a fellow classmate. So, as you guys know, it's story time with Eionan. Bring it in, folks. Bring it in. Bring it in. Get your pillows. Get your binkies. Get your sippy cups. Sit down next to your friend, okay? Story time's coming up. All right, I'll give you a few moments to settle in. It's time for story time with Eionan. All right, so yes, there it is. Gather around, children. It's story time with Eionan. All right, so back in that era, I decided that I wanted to not just go to track days or just go out there and pay for a license and go out and race. I wanted to actually go get some real training and pick up a real racing license with the AMA. I felt like I got my blankie and my booze, Urban says, right? There you go. I felt like it was just something I always wanted to do. I always wanted to go to a school, learn all the finer points of racing. It's a whole weekend that you go there and you do the racing, and then you go back the following weekend and you get to race. All right? And it's a big deal. At that particular point in my life, I did not have a lot of money. And the most important thing I mentioned last week was I did not have health insurance. So this was a big risk for me. I was basically going to go somewhere where I was going to ride my motorcycle faster than I'd ever ridden it before with other people on motorcycles on the track and hopefully not crash and get hurt, right? Because I didn't have any health insurance. I had to sign an extra waiver saying that, not only was the track not liable, but the fact that I didn't have insurance. So I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. I signed it, right? Because I wanted to go do this. It's one of those life things on my list I wanted to do. So I went to the school. Knife Nut's going to take off for the night. thank you very much, Knife Nut, for sticking around and being part of the Tuesday Night Live. Much love to you, brother. It's great to have you in here. I hope that your evening and the rest of your week gets better. All right. Hopefully we'll see you next Tuesday. Always a joy having you in here, man. Have a good night. All right. So anyway, with the story time, here's so I decided to go to the school. I pay all the money. I go to the school. I get there. I stayed at the cheapest hotel I could find in Albuquerque, New Mexico. That's where this track was. There's a track called Sandia. So they're having the AMA school there. I go up there. I get a hotel room for the night or for the weekend, and it's literally like a low rent type Motel 6. Like there are some sketchy freaking people in there, right? So I'm like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. My motorcycle's in the back of my truck, and I got a ramp, and I got it locked up with cable. More on that later. So I go to the school, I get in there, and most of the first day is all classroom work. They teach you all kinds of things that you might not normally think of about riding a motorcycle, which was great. This is not a bedtime story. No, it's not. And then I have a funny story coming up next. So anyway, we go to the school. They teach all this. They have a whole runoff section on the track where you get to practice taking off, using the clutch properly, doing starts, doing high-speed stops. They go over everything with you. And they tell you when you do this school, you do the school for the weekend, and then you have to come back and you have to do a race. So everybody in the school, and there was like, I don't know, 20 people that took this class, that took this school. Everybody in the school has to sketchy hotel. It was a sketchy hotel, man. It was a super sketchy Motel 6 in Albuquerque. Everybody who does the school has to come back and do the race. So what you do is they put all the people in the class on the track, right? I think I started about 3 rows back, and I had some friends who had taken the school earlier in the year, in the spring. And I'd gone up and supported those guys and got to know them, and they raced, and I'd gone to some of their races. So they all came up there they were racing that weekend, but they all came out there to support me because here I am trying to get my license so that I can race in an actual AMA event. So I line up for the school. I think I started about 3. I think it was the 3rd row, and I had really paid attention in the school, and I got this amazing start. I did what I would call a 2 credit card wheelie, meaning, you could probably put 2 credit cards under the front wheel of my bike as I'm accelerating off the line. The power just pours down. I managed to get the clutch just right with just the right amount of revs. And I literally shoot through the first couple rows of people, and I get into turn 1 and I'm in the lead. And now I'm freaking out, right? I'm totally freaking out because I'm like, holy shit, I'm in the lead. Holy shit, I'm going through the corner, and I'm leaning the bike, and I happen to just kind of glance over my shoulder, and I realize there's nobody next to me. I have launched off the line. I am completely in the lead in this race. Now, here's the thing. When you do this race, there's a couple things that have to happen for you to graduate from the school. You have to finish the race. You cannot go off the track or crash. Even if you can get back up and keep riding your bike, you don't graduate from the school. Okay? So anyway, here's the pre-story to all this. During the actual school and the actual training, and the instructors go out and ride with you, right? And they ride behind you, and you come off the track, and they give you all these tips, and they tell you what you're doing right and you're doing wrong. So this guy shows up for the class. He's a little bit older than me, so probably late 30s at the time. And he shows up on this amazing R1. It's got every race modification you can imagine on it. He's got carbon fiber wheels. He's got Brembo brakes. He's got Eionan suspension. He's got a custom exhaust. It's all race tuned. He's got all the street stuff pulled on. I'm there on a stock bike, by the way. That bike I showed you in the picture is a stock 07 GSX-R 600 that I've stripped the headlights, taillights off. And the only modifications to that bike, I was even running DOT tires, Michelin Pilot Powers. The only modifications to that motorcycle that I had was I had a Yoshimura titanium exhaust, and the bike had a power commander with a custom tune on it for the racetrack. That's it. Other than that, stock motor, stock suspension, stock everything. I made a few adjustment settings to the front forks to get the ride height and the sag right. But basically, I'm riding a stock bike, right? And there's people there with all kinds of race bikes taking the class. But this guy shows up. He's got an R1. It's brand new. It's got every racing modification you can imagine on it. The bike is incredible, right? But it's also a leader bike. It's a 1,000 cc bike instead of a 650. And in this school and this race, you can run any bike. It doesn't matter. So he comes to the school, and all he does is brag about the bike. And all he does is brag about how many track days he's been to. He's like, oh, yeah, I've done track day here. I've done track day there. I've been, and he never raced at this track. Okay. And he basically, like, every time the instructors tell him something in the class, he's pretty much like, I'm there like a sponge. Like, I've ridden bikes my whole life. I've been to track days. I'm like, this is different. I'm at a racing school. These are top flight instructors. They're teaching me how to ride these bikes to the edge of the performance envelope and not crash, hopefully. That's the goal, especially for me, because I don't have insurance. This guy is like, you can tell, like, the instructors tell him stuff, and he's like, yeah. They go out there and they ride with him, and they're like giving him tips, and you can tell it's going in one ear and out the other. So before you line up, everybody drew numbers for where you're going to start for this race. He draws his number, but before you line up, they give you 2 practice laps. You get to go around the track twice, and that's to warm up your tires. So instead, it'll let you see people weave left and right. That's not really how you warm up a set of tires. You accelerate and you brake, and you accelerate and you brake. And you'll see, if you watch any warm-ups for motorcycle races, you'll see the top guys doing this, because what it does is it stretches the carcass of the tire, and then the carcass of the tire comes back into position. And every time that you push and pull on a tire carcass, you create heat, you create friction, and you create heat, and that's how you warm up your tires. Yes, you can scrub the marbles off of them by weaving left and right, but how you warm up your tires, especially if you don't have tire warmers, which I did not, is you accelerate and decelerate, and that lets the tires begin to stretch and create friction, which creates heat. So you go out on the warm-up lap, and that's just to get your tires warmed up and to just get the feel of being on the track, and to just kind of, in your mind, remember the order of all the turns, and for me, I'm doing what the instructors told me. I'm watching all my braking points, and I'm saying, okay, that's my braking point for this turn. And they had a complete switchback turn, which went all the way around. You have to literally turn your head all the way behind you when you entered this corner to make this turn. It was a hairpin. So I'm making sure I got all my braking points right. I'm making sure I'm turning my head, looking at all my, everything's right. Second warm-up lap. The guy in the R1 crashes on the hairpin. He goes off the turn, runs into the tire barrier, stuffs the whole front end of his bike. So the guy who talked the loudest and had the most expensive ride wrecked his bike on the warm-up lap. Urban Woodsman, my wife knows exactly how to get my tires warmed up. I bet she does, but that's between you and her, brother. I don't want to know about that. Can't wait to get back out there. But anyway, so this guy stuffs his bike on the warm-up laps. And so everything stops. They go out there. His bike's totally fucking toast. He ain't riding it. The forks are bent. The front wheel's facing the wrong direction. It's all banged up. And this is a brand new bike full of racing gear. Okay. And most douches crash on turn 1 of the first lap. Well, he made it to the middle of the second warm-up lap and he crashed. So, I mean, karma, it's true. I mean, crashing does happen. Don't get me wrong. But being the loudest, most obnoxious person in the school and bragging about your bike the entire time, and then going out there And crashing on the warm-up lap is about the most stupid fucking thing you could do when you've paid good money to go to a professional racing school. Okay? That's karma in your face. I totally agree, right? Exactly why you should try not to brag, right? Karma's a bitch. I totally agree. So anyway, so that's the story of this guy. Okay? So he crashes. Everybody in the school is just totally thrilled that this guy has crashed, and he's not hurt, but just because, right? He was a dick. He was a douche the whole time. So everybody's happy about that. And yes, I agree with David Iverson. It was too much bike for the idiot, right? If you're going to ride a leader bike, you damn well better know how to use this and this attached to it, right? Your brain and your right hand. As a dirt racer, I always enjoyed beating sponsored riders. Yep, I totally agree. So anyway, so here's what happens. So that's what happens with the douche. So they finally they get that all cleaned up. They get his bike taken away. He's okay, right? They put his bike in the back of a little trailer thing when they take it off the track, all busted up, and we're all giggling, laughing about it because he deserved it. So then they give us one more warm-up lap. We go one more lap around the track. We get our tires warmed up. We pull back up to the line and get everybody lined up. Flag goes off. Like I said, I get this beautiful 2 credit card wheelie launch. I can feel the front wheels off the ground. I got my weight for a bike comes down. I go in the first turn. I look over my shoulder real quick, and there's nobody next to me. I am all alone in the lead. Right? And now I'm like, now the pressure is on me. I was just thinking, I just want to get through this race without crashing, without going off the track, and get my AMA license. Now I come out into the first corner, and I'm leading the race. And I'm like, holy shit, I'm in the lead. And I know I'm not on the fastest bike. I know there's other people there with more tricked out bikes than me and all this, but I make it through the first sweeper. I get on the back straightaway. I see my braking points. I do all that. That photo right here is taken at the fastest point of the track at the end of the back straightaway, right as you come into a sweeper that leads into the hairpin corner that I was talking about. And I'm like, please just let me not mess up this corner. Right? I look for my braking points. I get through there. Okay. I come in to the hairpin. I turn my head. I lean the bike in. I start rolling on the throttle. The thing just comes off of there like a rocket. Down into the back of the track I go. And I get all the way around for the first lap. I come across the finish line for the first lap, start finish line, and I glance over my shoulder, and I'm like a half a straightaway ahead of anybody. Right? And I can see there's a guy back in third that is on a really fast bike, and I know he knows how to ride. And I'm like, just keep hitting your marks, Rich. Just don't worry about how fast you're going. Just keep hitting your marks. Just ride within yourself. I keep telling myself this. Like I'm coaching myself every lap, right? I'm like, braking point, turn your head, press, wait. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing. The next to the last lap of the race, I overbake it coming into the hairpin. And the rule that they always teach you in motorcycle racing, right, is if you think you're not going to make the turn, before you panic and hit the brakes or do anything dumb, turn your head as far as you can and look through the turn where you want to go. Because if you look where you think you're going to crash, you're going to crash. So I do that. It's hard to do this. I'm trail braking and everything, but I let off the brakes and I turn my head and I just press the handlebars really hard to the left. And I get a full lean in, right? I'm basically dragging a knee and I just barely make the corner. I mean, my wheels are right out to the edge of the asphalt, right? And then as soon as I know I got that corner made, I roll back into the throttle, right? And I go to lean the bike the other way and I look over my shoulder and there's the guy who was in third. He's right behind me, right? Because I messed up that one corner. He's right on my tail. So now I got to ride perfect through the back half of the track. I do that. I managed to come off the last corner, dragging a knee, leaning off the bike, and I am just roaring into the throttle as much as I can and just pushing the bike out toward the outside wall. And I managed to stay on the throttle and finish well in front of this guy. Like enough so that the other photos I have, he's not in the frame. I couldn't believe it. I won my school race, right? So that was a pretty big deal. It's very exciting and scary as shit to be on a bike like that and see the concrete wall of the front straightaway coming up kind of straight in front of you. And you know that you've got to like keep looking where you want to go and not look at that wall so that you can make that turn and come off that corner at whatever it was, 100 miles an hour, 90 miles an hour, and make it. So I did it. I won the first race. I had to come back the next day. They put me in the regular sport bike class, middleweight super sport bike class. And I went out there and I started 12th against experienced riders that had been doing this for a long time. I started 12th and I finished 8th. And that's believe it or not, guys, that is pretty damn good considering that I did not really have the experience, the racing experience and the time on track that everybody else had. So it was a life thing that I got to check off. I made it through that whole weekend. I never crashed. I never hurt myself. I didn't break the bike. And the guys at the track were so awesome that they actually watched my bike for the weekend while I stayed in the crappy hotel because I was really worried about somebody coming and stealing my motorcycle at this Motel 6 in the bad section of Albuquerque. And that didn't turn out to be a problem because one of the teams that was there was like, well, watch your bike. Don't worry about it. No one's going to touch your bike here. We're camping right here tonight. That is our trailer. That's our camper. Here's our motorcycles. They're all locked up. They had this little fence thing that went around their easy ups that was locked. And it was like 6 feet high and it was locked. And they're like, no one's going to come here and touch these bikes. They're going to have to deal with every one of us. So those guys watch my bikes. And it reminds me a little bit of the knife community and how amazing all of you folks are, how kind-hearted and you know, accepting all of you folks are, that they accepted me into that. Q-Ball says, I remember the game. Grand MotoGP, such a great game, but I'll be damned if I ever attempted to ride like that. Urban says, that's a good pat on your back for yourself. It was. It's one of the few things I'm really, really proud that I did. I did not expect to win my very first race. I got my license. I went out there and I raced against the big boys, and I did pretty well. I didn't finish last. I started at the tail end, near the tail end of the field. I think it was 15 people in that race. I started, or thereabouts. I started 12th, and I finished 8th. So I was happy that I passed some people, that I rode well. I didn't wreck my bike. I didn't, you know, take anybody else out, any of that stuff. But it was, oh my God, it was really an amazing life experience to go and do that. And I don't regret it at all, honestly. Everybody that I knew at the time thought I was a little crazy because I didn't have health insurance, and here I could go out there and ride my motorcycle at 130, 40, 50 miles an hour. But it was super cool. And like I said, that's why I've kept the photo from that race and my helmet from that time period and my AMA license card. All right. So does anybody want one more story? And this will be a shorter one, and it will be funny. One more story? I want to see some bananas if you guys want one more story. Bananas. Bananas. That's right. It was an adrenaline rush for sure. Urban says, that's like my first time shooting a shotgun and hit 23 out of 24 clays. Yes, it sounds like you were either doing trap or skeet. I started shooting skeet with my dad when I was very young, and I used to be able to shoot 23s and 24s pretty regularly as a young teenager, 13, 14, 15 years old. The shotgun that I learned that I shot skeet on most of the time once I graduated to a 12 gauge was a Winchester Model 12 Bird Dog edition. It was really a super nice shotgun. My dad, it was my father's, but he let me shoot that. And I used to shoot 23s and 24s with a pump. And then later I got an over and under and I started shooting 25s. I see all the bananas up there. So there's time for one more story, folks. One more good story for you guys. And this one is short and it's kind of funny. All right, here we go. So as many of you know, I work at a golf course. I work at a private golf course that's part of a golf community. The course is actually owned by the members and the residents that live there. It is open for play in the summer sometimes, and we do host tournaments and things like that. But a lot of the people that we have that live at the golf course. That come to the golf course, live at the golf course, meaning they're residents, and there's a ton of golf carts everywhere. We only have, out of our entire membership, we only have 33 or 34 people that are members that don't have their own golf carts. So most of the time, a lot of these people that are older are driving their golf carts right from their house or garage down to the course, and they just go down and practice, and then they tee off. But occasionally what happens is somebody forgets to plug their golf cart in, the batteries died, their wife, who also plays golf, is using it to bring a friend that day, and they need to come and get a golf cart from me. Now, I'm not going to give any names in this situation because it's just not fair to do that. I took first place in a fishing tournament when I was 2 years old. Side note for sure. That's pretty amazing, actually. Okay, so anyway, we get a lot of people that come and take carts that don't normally borrow rental carts from us. So one of my older residents comes, and he comes walking up, and you can always kind of tell how much into golf or how long they've been playing golf or what stage of their golfing life they're at by what their clubs look like. So this particular resident comes up to me, and I know who he is. I know him well. And he's carrying a leather golf bag. He's walking up with a leather golf bag. They weigh a ton. And his clubs are from probably the 80s or 90s. They're not wooden woods. They're modern metals, but they're probably clubs from sometime in the 80s, I would say. So I see him coming over the footbridge toward the bag drop area where you get the carts. And I'm thinking to myself, I got to go help him because he's struggling. He's carrying this leather bag and he's swaying from side to side as he's walking, right? And so I jog over there and I grab his bag and I'm like, hey, the 18, no, not the 1880s, the 1980s. But anyway, he's all appreciative. He's like, oh, thanks, right? I'm like, what's going on? I go, something wrong with your car? He goes, oh, yeah, my wife's got my car today. Okay. I'm going to need one of the rental cars from the fleet. Okay. We have 40 golf carts, by the way. So he comes up, I put him in a rental car, right? I'm busy. There's other people driving in, I'm putting their bags on golf carts. I'm writing down their numbers and all this. And he takes off. And there's a path that leads along a giant boulder-filled man-made ravine. It's probably 40, 50 feet high. And there's a path that you can drive the golf carts down. It takes you directly to the driving range. So he takes one of our carts. He scoots over the bridge. He cuts left, and he starts going down this path. Again, remember, I'm handing out bags and stuff. I'm, handing out carts and taking people's bags. And all of a sudden, I hear this noise that sounds like metal scraping on rocks. And I look and I see one of my rental golf carts sliding down the curb of this path. Now, remember, to the left of where this path is a ravine filled with giant boulders. Okay? It's a wash for when we have monsoons in the summer, but most of the year it's dry. But at this particular point, it doesn't matter whether it's full of water or it's dry or not, because I've just watched a 75 or 80 plus year old man go scooting down this path, and I hear what sounds like a crash. So I drop what I'm doing. I'm like, hold on, folks. And I run over to my side of the ravine, and I look and I see the golf cart has gone up, jumped the curb, the cement concrete curbing. And what I heard was the golf cart, it has a big skid plate underneath it to protect the bottom of it. The skid plate, it slid down 25 to 30 feet of this sidewalk, and it's tipped up on its side on two wheels toward the ravine. And I don't see this guy that I just gave the cart in the cart or on the ground. And there's not much ground between There's only like a couple of feet, like 2 or 3 feet of ground between where this golf cart is flipped up on 2 wheels and the fall into the ravine. My first thought is, holy shit, this guy just got thrown out of that golf cart. And I'm like, oh my God, he's not there. He's not in the cart. I think he might be downrange. So myself and a couple of the guys from landscaping who happened to be there, I jump in a cart. They start running. I drive around. I drive down the path. I see the cart high-sided up there on top of the curb, tipped up on 2 wheels. And I don't see this gentleman. And I'm like, and I start yelling for him. And as soon as I start yelling for him, I figure like, please answer. But he doesn't answer the first couple times. The third time I call out his name, he steps out from a bush on the other side of the path. He's not in the ravine. Right? So I turn to him and I go, thank God you're not down in that ravine. I go, what the heck happened? And he says, I don't know. I just kind of spaced out for a moment. And the next thing I knew, I was hanging out of this golf cart, stuck up on top of a curb. I'm like, we all thought you were dead. We thought you were down there in that ravine amongst the boulders. He goes, oh, no, that came pretty close to happening. He goes, but I just kind of was hanging onto the steering wheel. He goes, so when it came to rest, my feet were on the ground. He goes, I just stepped out of it, walked across the path, and went over here and stood by a tree waiting until somebody else showed up to help me. But he didn't end up in the ravine. So I am thinking, whew, man, that would not have been good. This guy, taking one of our golf carts and gotten thrown into a ravine. But it took 5 of us to rock the golf cart back and forth so we could get it flipped back over. Like, it wasn't flipped over like on its side, but it was up on 2 wheels, and we had to rock it off of the curb and get it back so we could drive it back onto the path. But that kind of stuff happens frequently. I've had several people that have high-sided golf carts. They've run over saguaros. Imagine having to go out with a diesel Gator. I have one of those. I have a turbo diesel Gator, John Deere Gator, Pro Gator, big one. And I've had to go out and actually tow people off of giant cactuses because they hit the gas instead of the brake and they drove over a cactus and got their cart stuck 2.5 feet off the ground on the side of the giant cactus. And I have to go out there and hook onto him with a Pro Gator, a big diesel Pro Gator, and yank him off of there. That stuff happens to me at work pretty regularly. Thank God this guy did not end up dead down in a ravine. But let me tell you what, I was pretty sure that's what happened when I first saw the situation. So anyway, guys, that is golf cart driving 101. Please be careful with them if you ever use a golf cart. Please realize they can tip over very easily, and they're not the sturdiest things in the world. Thank God ours are club carts, and they have full frames and a skid plate package underneath the back of them. Otherwise, I think this guy would have ended up dead down in a ravine, probably with a golf cart on top of him. You'd probably never seen a golf cart like the one I DM'd you. No, I'll have to check that afterwards. Anyway, folks, it's time to make some dinner for me and watch some Cole. I hope you guys have had a good time in the live stream here tonight. Thank you all for showing up on a Tuesday night and sharing part of your Tuesday nights here in the Minions Lair with me. I'm always eternally grateful to everyone who tunes in every week. I hope you guys have a safe rest of your week. For those people who are missing the live streams, because you're unwell, I hope all those folks get well soon. My best wishes to each one of you. I'll probably see a bunch of you in Cole's live chat in a little while. Until next week, folks, stay sharp. I'll see you next time.